Transition Radio TV brought to you by thebreastformstore.com. They have everything you could possibly need for your transgender or cross-dressing needs. Visit their website at www.breastformstore.com and tell them Transition Radio sent you.
The following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. A 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Hollywood, Florida, with your host and hostess, Mark Angelo and Jessica Lynn Cummings. Show for trans folks, by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard. Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Transition Radio TV. We're so glad you're able to join us. We want to thank everyone who's joined us on chat. Today we have an amazing show. We have Jason Robert Ballard, and Jason is best known as the founder and CEO of trans-masculine company called The Self-Made Man. Almost 5 years ago now, Jason was in college for graphic arts and illustration in Rochester, New York, when they got an assignment to create a logo and brand identity for a clothing company. He chose to make clothes designed for trans men through a company called The Self-Made Man, obviously.
During this time, him and his friend Noah Michael had joined the Gayalliance.org's Speakers Bureau and were being sent all over Rochester and the surrounding areas to speak on trans issues. Jason and Noah formed the idea to make The Self-Made Men into a company for resources for guys like them. Resources neither of them had growing up with their own gender confusion.
In the future, Jason and the Self-Made Man pushed to become a household name for the transgender community. He's been quoted saying, "If guys can't ignore tampon commercials and women can delete emails about natural male enhancement,
cisgender people can handle transgender culture in the mainstream media, and they will." Right before designing a billboard for The Self-Made Men for downtown Rochester, New York.
Hello and welcome to The Self-Made Men on YouTube. My name is Jason Robert Ballard, and I'd like to share my story with you. I'm not going to say that it was difficult, because it wasn't, and I'm aware of how incredibly lucky I am. However, I won't say that it was easy either. It just was. The summer I turned 13 is when I created Jason. The internet was redeveloped and chat rooms were a big thing. I went into one as Anastasia, as my female self, and I think I stayed about 10 minutes before I got bored. A couple of weeks later, I went back in, but this time I took on the name Jason instead, and I answered all the inquiries as male instead of female. That was the first time I had felt real. I opened up and I was free. I lost the rest of the day getting to know myself through interactions with others, and I would eventually lose the next 4 years of my life inside of that world. The more I became Jason, the more the life I had to live outside of the internet became frustrating and depressing. I had a turning point when my mom found out about what I'd been doing. She was upset because I was lying to people. She was confused because neither of us had even heard of the word transgender, and she was sad for me because I was so lost. But she wasn't surprised. She wasn't hurtful. She was on my side. A few days later, she had a stack of papers printed out at work from PFLAG. I guess she had Googled, "My daughter wants to be my son," and the internet provided her with the words to explain things. Transgender, transition, female to male, normal, okay, relax. It was relieving to know that this was an actual thing that other people had gone through, but I still faced a lot of internal struggle. I I didn't want to be associated with the word transsexual, transvestite, transgender, tranny. I didn't want to transition. I just wanted to wake up one morning and magically be a boy. It didn't take long to realize that that obviously was impossible, and if I was going to be Jason full-time, I was going to have to take steps toward it. My mom helped me tell my family. When I told my sister, she said, "I've always wanted a big brother, like Matt Camden from Seventh Heaven." My grandma and grandpa were funny. My grandma goes into where my grandpa's tying a fishing lure, and she says, "How would you like another grandson?" And he goes, "Oh man, who's pregnant now?" And she says, "No, I'm talking about Anastasia." And he goes, "What? She's pregnant?" And my grandma goes, "No, I mean she's going to be your grandson now." And he just goes back to tying his fishing lure, and I was like, huh, well, alright. My younger cousin had been following me around for months with this confused look on her face, asking me whether I was a boy or a girl. And I kept saying I was a girl until I came out, and I was just waiting for her to ask one more time. Finally she did, and I got to say I was a boy. She smiled like she finally got the answer she was waiting for all this time and said, "I knew it." I actually messed up her perception on gender really good, because she asked everyone from then on whether they were a boy or a girl. For my 18th birthday, my entire family got me new pronouns. I got birthday cards addressed to Jason, and son, and grandson, and nephew, and brother. I changed my name legally, and then by some stroke of luck, when they mailed me my new ID, it had an M on it instead of an F. And then my transition slammed on its brakes. I didn't know where to go from there, who to talk to, how to start hormones, how to afford surgery. I didn't know anyone trans, and I didn't have a community, any support, nothing. I went like this for quite some time. I didn't pass 100% of the time, so public bathrooms were completely obsolete. My name was legally changed, so it was hard to find jobs that saw my name and my girlish voice and petite face and hire me. Finally, a couple of years later, I was informed about the LGBT health clinic in Philadelphia called the Mazzoni Center, and that they could help me start hormones. I was ready, so I made an appointment. I spoke with a specialist named Melanie Santiago, and I told her my story. She said, "Your story's boring. You've been a man this entire time. Let's start you on hormones." 2 weeks later, I made the trip back down to Pennsylvania, and they taught me how to inject myself safely. That was about 3.5 years ago now. I would say my primary care provider has really been a lifesaver. She's been 100% trans-friendly and knowledgeable. She got me in touch with a surgeon, and I got to have top surgery done October of 2010. After I recovered from that, I was really able to look back on everything I had done for myself over the past couple of years and be thankful. I stepped up and did what I had to survive. I don't know where I would be right now if I hadn't. My life now is dedicated to helping others get to where I am, happy. Through the Self-Made Men, with the rest of the staff here, we provide a very necessary sense of community that wasn't available before. I've taken what I was given and what I was missing and created myself. I'm Jason Robert Ballard, and this is my story. Thank you for watching.
Hi there.
How you doing, Jason?
Hey, Jason. I feel like it was just filmed less than a year ago, and I still feel like I've come so far since then.
It's an ever-evolving process, and it is totally amazing. I mean, we recreate ourselves. We become mirror hungry, because it's like every time you pass by, and when I first transitioned, mirrors were like, wow. It's like, is that me? It's a very amazing thing.
Yes, definitely.
Not everybody gets to experience that. I think everyone should change their gender.
Yeah, I know.
First half of your life, you live one way, the other half of your life, you live the other.
I think that's the only way to live it.
Yeah, it's definitely an amazing thing.
Definitely awesome. Well, Jason, when did you first realize that you were transgender, and what was your course of action?
I feel like my video said a lot of this, but I don't feel like I ever had an aha moment, like, oh, this is what I am, and that created a turning point at all. It was really like actually kind of the opposite of that, where I didn't like the word, I didn't even like the word lesbian, but I didn't like the word transsexual or transvestite or anything that like just encompassed that stigma. So for a couple years in my life, I definitely went through some denial, where I was like, I'm not anything, like I'm fine the way I am, kind of thing, just mostly because I had another life online that I was living in secret. So it kind of separated who I was and who I was when I wanted to be somebody online. I really wanted to just wake up and be male. I think that's a lot of people's issue. They don't want to transition. They don't want to go through the act of transitioning. So like they wish on every 11/11, or I'm pretty sure I threw a lot of pennies in fountains. And there's one where you like lift your feet up when you go over a railroad track, and then you can wish for something too. I don't know. There's a lot of little like superstition things, and I was always like, oh, I want to be a boy. I want to wake up a male. Like, just do it.
Wow. And do you still feel the way that you felt about the word transgender now, or have you embraced that label?
I've actually embraced the word transsexual too, which I find in the trans community is one of the people don't want to be like, they go for transgender because it's less sexualized than transsexual. But for me, I feel like a lot of people say transgender just sounds weird to say to me, because people like try to add an ed at the end or something, and I'm never sure how to say it right, so I go with transsexual just because it's like you can't be transsexualed. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've had that experience too. As far as when I would tell people I'm like, I'm transgender, they're like, huh? I'm like, I'm transgender. They're like, huh? And I said, I'm a transsexual. Oh,
okay,
yeah. Add the word sexual and everybody knows what you're talking
It's like,
about.
okay.
I've definitely more identified with that word. I don't know whether it's my ego and I just like being, that special in some kind of way. But I have shirts that say like, everybody knows I'm trans on it, like a spin-off of the nobody knows I'm trans kind of thing. Or like shirts that say FTM, and people are like, what's that mean? I'm like, it means I was born a girl. And they're like, what, really? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I try to be out there all the time because I don't look trans. And so it just blows people's mind, and it really like brings them on our side, kind of. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
And I always try to find that educational moment. And, when I tell people and they're like, you're what? No way. And
Right.
my line is, do you want me to pull my pants down? Because that
Yeah.
there is going to like really show you the facts here. But
Right.
it took me a while. When I first transitioned back in 2003, I was in that whole denial thing as well. And I wanted everybody to get the pronouns right. And I'm a man,
Yeah.
I'm not that. Through the years, I transitioned. It's now 2013. So I've embraced the fact that I'm two-spirit, and I feel comfortable using the word transgender.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me. We're all different,
You
and
mean transsexual?
no, I like the word transgender.
Oh, I thought you said you're comfortable using the word transsexual.
No, comfortable transgender.
Never mind.
Okay. Anyway, how has your family and friends handled your transition?
They've been absolutely fantastic. My family's really small. My grandparents married when they were 16 and 18, and they got what's that word? Disowned from their families for getting married so young, and they've been together for like 45 years. So it's my grandparents and then my aunt and uncle, and that's and my mom, and then that's it. So really, I didn't have a lot of people to go through. I didn't have extended family or anything like that. I told you all my funny family stories in the video beforehand, but basically, yeah, my mom told me I was trans. I don't know how many people's moms you can say that about.
Not many at all. So that's awesome. How about your friends? Were your friends just as accepting?
Yeah, I remember there was, I guess, if you wanted to see like the negative one, my best friend in high school, when I came out to her, she kind of was like, well, okay, well, there's places to go for that. There's like, you can get like a cure kind of thing. She was like, her family was really, really hard school Catholic, Italian Catholic. So they were just not exposed to anything like that at all. We didn't even have a big LGBT community in my high school. So telling her that I wanted to have a sex change was basically how I worded it. And she was like, I don't know what you mean.
You can't do that. There's no such thing. You can't.
Yeah, there's a place you go for that, I think.
They'll cure you. They'll make you think you're. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a cure. I'm pretty sure that's been my only really like negative thing at all. I cut my hair between 9th and 10th grade, and I wore boys' clothes all the time anyway. I think my first day of 10th grade, I just cut all my hair off, and I lost a bet, so I had to wear a wetsuit to school. And so that was my like first day of 10th grade where everyone just, got to know me. That was just me. The weird kid.
Well, I think we were all a little weird in high school.
Yeah. It carried
What has
over from
been-
middle school. Everyone's weird in middle school.
Oh yeah, middle school
Middle
definitely.
school was worse.
That was the
That
worst.
was- yeah.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest obstacle?
I answered this question in my video too. You could have just interviewed my video.
I know,
My
really.
biggest obstacle has been not having the resources at the beginning of my transition. When my mom did that whole Google thing, she found a lot of email loops that we became part of. So I remember we had this one site. He was from New York City, and his name was Sebastian. And the site was like Better Living Through Chemistry, and it showed like that he got facial hair and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like I still want to wake up male, but it's really cool that like that's something that can happen and can be done. But there was a time in my transition where I kind of reverted back to like, wait, I don't want to do this. Like maybe I just didn't try hard enough to be a girl kind of thing. And during that time, my mom went back to the email list and was like, I don't know what to do. Like, she's fine now. You know what I mean? And so that I think that kind of threw a kink in other people's transitions, because if I changed my mind, like, what are these mothers that have their kids on hormone blockers and stuff like that? Like, is it a phase for everyone kind of thing? I hate that happened, but the biggest obstacle has been like no concrete resources where like you go here and you do this, or I don't even know how you get your F or M changed to the other one on a DMV record. Still, I think my entire transition has been by luck.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah, it's back when I came out in 2003, there was absolutely no resources. I remember, I think I saw it was Jameson Green, which has been around forever, and another guy named James Knight. And when I saw their pictures and went in their website, and I was like, oh my God, he was born a girl? So that, just like, it was just mind blowing that how hormones could actually change you. Mm-hmm. And since back 2003, move forward now to 2013, there's been like a major epidemic of trans people coming out. It's like all of a sudden everybody from another planet moved to Earth, and here we are, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. What helped you deal with all of this? Like any the obstacles and the things that you have, the fact that you just wanted to be a boy, next day, boom. That you just couldn't adapt to the fact that you were born a girl. What helped you deal with all that?
My mom was like really, really supportive, and my family. And like I said in my video, my 18th birthday, they all gave me like new pronouns. So just being accepted in my family was really great. Like whether I had transitioned, whether I had decided not to take hormones or do any surgeries or anything like that. Like if I had said, I want to be called Jason and I want to be called masculine pronouns, they would have stuck to it. I mean, my grandmother still, like me and my sister came in the other day and she was like, oh, hey girls. And I was like, oh, hey girl. Like I just pick on her now. Because like I have a beard and she calls me she and stuff, and so it's just really old. So yeah, it's frustrating to not have the resources to help you move faster. It's really been the fact that I had the confidence to be out to everyone that got me to the networking to be able to start things, word of mouth and that kind of stuff. When I moved to Rochester has a huge LGBT community. Like, if you Google the word gay, the gayalliance.org is the first thing that comes up, and that's, like, based in Rochester. So when I moved here, it was just, like, I don't know, there's such a big community that when I came out to people and told them that I was trans and this is what I was doing and looking into, I met a girl who knew a guy that transitioned, and he did it through the Mazzoni Center. So she brought me down there and helped me out, and I started T. And then it was through another networking connection where my mom found a primary care provider that was trans friendly, and so I went to her. And because of her, I found a surgeon that was trans friendly, and so it's really been being out and open has and letting people accept me as who I am has really helped me cope with all sorts of obstacles.
That's awesome.
I got a question. What when you started T, what were the positives and the negatives of the hormones when you took them that you experienced?
The negative was definitely my mood swings. Like I hear a lot of guys say that they have like really big mood swings, or it calms them down. It's like one or the other. Either you get a little like aggressive, or you like settle into your body. And I felt like my fuse was just so much shorter than it used to be. Like I just couldn't understand, why are you telling me this? Well, why are you walking so slow in front of me? Like, why did you just cut me off driving? Like, it just became like this fire right here where it just felt uncontrollable, and I just had to like take a couple breaths, or like go away, or like just, I don't know, keep it in.
So, note to self: T makes you impatient.
Yeah, a little. I at least I found that. I don't know, Mark, did you?
I think it depends on the individual, and I think also when you get a hysterectomy, because we have to understand there's like the battle of the hormones taken in the body.
Oh.
The estrogen is going, no, this is my place. The testosterone going, no, this is mine. And then all that, just all of a sudden, stuff just starts to happen. So I think once you remove the female bits, things settle. And once you've been on it for years, the body just figures, okay, I have to live with this. So.
Absolutely. Well, you obviously decided to do something positive with your life. Where did the strength come from?
Like I said, I just continuously was out and continuously telling my story. And after that graphic design clothing thing where I created the Self-Made Men image, the class that I came out to when I had to propose that clothing company was really like, we took the rest of the class like talking about trans issues and things like that, and I really realized that I have a very key role in my community to tell people what's going on, to explain the situation. There's a lot of people that think that trans people are covered equally in the law, and it's not true. Every time I go and speak at an event or something, I make it a point to tell them that, like, if we are inside Rochester City, I have equal rights. But if we are outside, like at the school that I'm in right now, I can be kicked out of a restaurant, or I can be denied healthcare, or I can be kicked out of housing, or anything like that. And it just blows their mind that they're human beings that are not treated with basic human rights. And so just their reactions are really just the fire that I need to keep doing what I'm doing.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit more about Self-Made Man and what the whole company offers transgender individuals.
Oh yeah, the Self-Made Man is kind of a dual thing. Like I've said, we go through to speaking events. Like just this Wednesday, we've got the Wegmans School of Pharmacy, which is 160 pharmacists sitting in front of like me and my co-owner Rowan, and we get to tell them about how to be inclusive, how to use the right pronouns, how to not, like, the one thing with the pharmacist is that they use the word side effects when they're talking about hormone stuffs, and the potential side effects are actually the benefits that these people are looking for. So it's just wording, like how they word things and stuff. The other side of the Self-Made Men is really just the website thing. We've got a list of resources that's building. We've got we do T-versary cards where you sign up and we send you a postcard every month for your anniversary of starting T. And we've got a pen pal system that just hit 6,500 people on it, and a site, and we just got packers and prosthetics, and we're not doing binders yet, but eventually. Pride wear, anything like that. It's really important to us to have a sense of like trans culture that's just ours. To do like t-shirts, we're working on one that says 0 grams trans fat per serving, and just the funny things inside of our culture. So it's really a mentoring and public education network.
That's awesome. I was looking at your wall today, and I read that you wrote something regarding PayPal wanting you to remove the Packers from your website.
Right.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's I don't understand that whole concept. Why they would?
It's funny because the site that we buy our sexual prosthetics from, we buy through PayPal to get them on our site. So it's like they're targeting the smaller guy, even though like the drop shipping company uses PayPal. I'm not really sure what's going on. I think that it's they're trying to cover theirself because they don't want things like this being sold to 18 people that are 18 or and under. But the place where we have our more sexual prosthetics, like we have like masturbation devices and stuff like that. That's under an 18 plus site, so you have to say that you're 18 plus. Not that people that are under 18, don't go in there anyway. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, I'm 13, but I'm not saying I'm 18. Yeah, it's like,
I'm totally 18.
All you gotta do is take a piece of paper, a pencil, and do the math. Okay, this makes me 18, 19, whatever. Okay, put that
So
in.
we're gonna end up switching to the Google checkout, which is cool because they have coupons and stuff like that. Where PayPal won't let us do 10% off with this coupon or save $2 off with this coupon. Google checkouts will, so that'll be something really cool to add to our site.
that's awesome. Well, here's a video of yours we found on reviews that you were doing on Packers. So
Okay, yeah.
I'm in on YouTube. My name is Jason Robert Ballard, and I'm the current owner and operator of the company. We work on educating the public for the needs and normalities of being trans, as well as mentoring and supporting them. The Self-Made Man has made it its mission to be a one-stop trans shop for the transgender and transmasculine communities. Recently, we teamed up with my good friend Mark at goodvibrations.com, and we're able to start offering a variety of packers. For those of you that don't know, a packer is a soft penis prosthetic used to create the look and feel of a bulge in the transitional male's pants. It can also alleviate the feeling of gender dysphoria and be used as an STP, which stands for stand to pee. There are many sites out there and types of packers, but today we're going to talk about the Sailor Packer and the Private Packer from Good Vibes and compare them to Mr. Olympia packers. My 3-inch Mr. Olympia I've had for 7 years, and it was originally an STP from Mango Products. It cost me about $100. As you can see, there's slight discoloration on the surface. The material, when not coated with powder, Gold Bond, baby powder, anything like that, is sort of sticky and attracts a lot of boxer lint. This is Mr. Olympian 5-inch version. Again, without the right powder, it tends to be a little sticky. Because of the stickiness in both Mr. Olympias, it's a good idea to keep them in a dry, protective case when they're not on your body. I found that the cloth bags that sheets and pillowcases come in at Walmart work perfectly. For more information on maintenance, I suggest checking out the Below the Belt articles in our Big Brother program on the site. Now let's take a look at the private packers. These are the packages. Now let's take a look at the private packages. Private packers packages. These are the packages these packages come in. The private packer is available in 3 skin tones: vanilla, caramel, and I dropped it. Vanilla, caramel, and chocolate. As you can see, the private packer hangs permanently in place. It also has an elongated tip to provide secure harness attachments. The package says that the harness security and the hardness of the packer itself can provide the ability to pack and play. In other words, it can be used for penetration. However, after analyzing it myself, I'm not sure that I would use it for such acts, and here's why. When it's moved up like this, after being let go, it kind of snaps right back here. Given the angle of the penis and its desire to snap back into place, I'm not sure how effective it would be to try and use it for sexual activities. However, if you're in a bind and wish to use your packer for penetration, this is the one to use. Now let's move on to my personal favorite, the Sailor Packer. Again, these are the packages these packages come in. The Sailor 1 is 4 inches, while the Sailor 2 is 5 inches. Normally these packers are sold for $24 to $26. On the selfmademen.com, we have them for $20 no matter which size you purchase. Again, this packer comes in all 3 skin tones: vanilla, caramel, and chocolate. I don't know why the chocolate package is green. This time, let's take a look at the caramel packer. What is especially nice about the Sailor Packer, it really sets it apart from Mr. Olympia, is that it's got a core of thicker material. I know you can't feel it on this video. Mark from Good Vibrations says they did this to distinguish the shaft from the testicles. I found that it gives it a much more realistic feel and makes it a lot less squishy and stretchy. Those are technical terms. One thing to also be said about the Sailor Packers is that they don't smell obnoxiously like rubber. In fact, it's sort of a fake cupcake smell. Ah, that new Packer smell, right?
If you're looking for a little more packer humor, the Self-Made Men has a contributing site called Oh, There It Is on Tumblr. I put the link right there. Which is funny, awkward, and unusual places people have found their packers, took in pictures of it, and sent us. Another part of picking the right packer for your personal package is skin tones. I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison of all 3 skin tones before I left. Vanilla, caramel, chocolate. Vanilla, caramel, chocolate. I want to thank you for watching this video. I also encourage you to take a look around our site when you're done. There are a lot of features we're very proud of, including the pen pal system, our growing list of resources and frequently asked questions, as well as our very popular online store. This has been our Packer Review. My name is Jason Robert Ballard, and with the Self-Made Men, I am here to promote transgender equality through public education.
That was good.
That was hilarious.
I was when I came out back in 2003 and I transitioned. I think there was like one company, and I forgot the name, and I didn't like the way it felt. It was like pee and pack at the same time thing, and it was just like, to me, it was grotesque because you get into the bathroom and it fully didn't like empty itself. You'd walk around with this like ew, and at the end of the day, you're like, oh God, this is ugh. So I stopped packing. I think I packed maybe for 3 months. And after that, I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I got what I got, and that's it. But
yeah,
packers have come a long way since I transitioned dinosaur age ago. So, but
absolutely. Has the community been supportive of your company?
I think it goes back and forth. I just had this conversation with people yesterday. Is that when someone likes something that we do, they end up just like clicking the like button, and then when someone hates what we do, they make sure that we know about it by like emailing us or inboxing us, like horrible things. I've gotten some very creative hate mail before. I think that a lot of guys don't realize that we have a lot of positions available for help. I always need help, and so I think they take that to go and start their own FTM company. If I were to speak totally honestly, I think that a lot of people start FTM companies to try to be famous for having an FTM company. I know that like sounds like counterproductive because activism isn't really a way to become famous. But I think that people want their name attached with something that goes viral. And so if it's an FTM company that is new and it's awesome and people are using it for resources, then they're one day they're going to end up on Ellen. And I'm not talking about myself, obviously. But I think that the company as a whole the community as a whole kind of sees a lot of companies come and go a lot. I described it once as like, this is just a weird metaphor, but as like a backyard, and every like trans company that just starts is like grass, and they come up and they're like, oh, I don't have time to keep doing with this, or here, let me give it to someone else, and then it falls through, or they have products and they don't end up like shipping them out on time, and people are like, oh, this is a scam. And then, or it ends up actually being a scam, or they just don't have time for it and everything like that. So eventually you'll get like the tough ones that stick it out. Like, we know the guys from Art of Transliness, or the OP, or like transguys.com or Transition Radio. Like, you guys are staples in the trans community that have been around for a really long time. And so I think the longer we stick it out, the more people will be supportive of our company, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. So I'm going to ask you, what is a typical day like for you?
You know, you gave me this question, so I wrote it all down because I didn't want to be like, well, I do all of this stuff in one day, because I don't. Like, in a week, each day is kind of different. Like, today I woke up and I thought that the only thing that I would have to do is this interview, and then I got a message from PayPal that told me that we need to switch companies because they don't want us to sell penises anymore.
They have penis envy. They just don't,
They don't want us to sell penises. That's whatever.
All these people.
Because they're obscene.
Yes.
So yeah, I wake up and I check my email because we have a lot of guys from international areas. So if they made orders from Australia or Asia or China or whatever, we get the orders in then. I've got two three different places that I drop ship from. We've got the rodeo harnesses, and then we've got all of our sexual prosthetics that come from a different place, and then we've got the Packers STPs and boxer briefs that come from a different place. So if one person orders a Packer, rodeo harnesses, toy cleaner, and a pendant necklace, I've got 4 different places that I have to put in the orders for. It's obnoxious, but it's good. It's good to be able to offer those products. So that's also when I answer all my hate mail, and anybody that's like, I can't find, like, can I have the tracking number for my package, or I want to collaborate and do a project together, or mentoring people that need help, anything like that. That's in the morning before my girlfriend even wakes up, so she can't even yell at me for doing work. And then hopefully I go to the post office. It's so cold out. It's like -4 out, so I haven't gone to the post office in like a week, and I know that people are like, "Where's my package?" Literally. And so I'm like, "I'm so sorry. It's so cold." But yeah.
I don't care. I want my Packer.
I don't care. I want my package.
I want my package.
I started a social media team, so then I go in and I let them know what's up for today. If they want to, they tell their friends, or they go on a group and just say, we've got a new interview, or this is the deal for today, or anything like that. It makes it less, Jason does everything. I don't want the Self-Made Men to just be synonymous with Jason Robert Ballard. It's like everyone's company. So just because I run it behind the scenes doesn't mean that it's not like the FTM community's company. So the social media team helps with that. Our busiest traffic time is between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. So that's when we make sure that we have launched everything new. We've got queues set up from the night before to do like 1 hour between those hours. This month, March is LGBT Health Month, so we're shooting some of our trans guy friends in their underwear to do posters for Planned Parenthood and AIDS care and stuff like that for promoting trans guys to get pap smears and mammograms. Kind of like Check It Out Guys. That's a Canadian one that did that. So there's photo shooting, editing, stuff like that, but that's not, a typical day. I make sure that I design at least 2 ads, because if someone sees, an ad for a Packer, it's fine. And then if I were to put that same ad for a Packer on 2 days later, it's like, wow, you're spamming me, stop it. So if I just, make a different ad for the same Packer and put it on, then it's like something new and fresh. The magazine companies do it all the time. I'm giving away all my secrets here. Then I check, basically, it's a lot of social media. There's a lot of trans groups on Facebook that I go through just to see if I can answer any questions that guys have had. I go through the Self-Made Men and FTM and trans guy tags on Tumblr. And then I brainstorm ideas for the writers, because we have a writer section now, so that I'm not the only one writing for the Self-Made Men, because we need new perspectives on people that didn't have the same story as me. Sometimes we have speaking events, like Wednesday, I've got one, and then March 1st, I've got a healthcare panel. It just, thankfully, Rowan's in charge of all of that. He tells me when I have things to do. Then I've got, I can just hang out and do myself stuff. I'm writing a book, and I can hang out with my girlfriend or whatever. And then before I go to sleep, I make sure that I queue the Tumblr. I have 2 Tumblrs, one for the 18+ site and one for the regular site, and I just make sure that everything's set for tomorrow morning, so that I don't have to scramble in the morning and have things ready for the Tumblr.
Wow. Do you do anything for fun besides any Jason time?
Doesn't
Jason
sound like
time.
it.
Yeah, I love that I can work from home and just like sit on the couch and watch Netflix and do work for the Self-Made Men, which is great. My actual job is that I work at an LGBT nightclub in Rochester on Thursday nights and Friday nights and Saturday nights, which is what pays my bills, because the Self-Made activism doesn't pay your bills. And let's see, what do? I went 2 weeks ago. Me and my girlfriend went to Boston. And we have this thing where we like to drink the culture's beer in the town. So we went to Boston and we drank a Sam Adams in the oldest bar in not the world, I don't think. It was made in 1795, so it's pretty old. But we had a Sam Adams there, and then last week we went to Niagara Falls and had a Molson. So, not that drinking is what I do for fun. What do I do for fun?
Is your girlfriend supportive of you? Seems like a lot of workaholic. Is she supportive of you? And
it is a lot of work. She's a senior here at Nazareth College in Rochester. It's her last semester, so she kind of likes that I have a lot of work because she has homework, and so I don't distract her.
okay.
But sometimes, at night when I'm putting everything in that needs to be in for the next day, and she's like, oh, I just want to go to sleep. Turn the brightness down on your computer at least. And then she'll come home. She went to class the other day and came back, and I was still sitting in the same spot, and she was like, you didn't move. Did you go to the post office? You were supposed to go to the post office. And I'm like, I just answered 60 emails. Leave me alone. Sometimes I think that because I work on the internet and I can just sit and watch Netflix, like I said, people think that I'm just on Facebook or looking at pictures of cats or something. Actually doing things. I'm still trying to figure out what I do for fun.
I know it's hard. I mean, it's like I'm pretty much a workaholic too, and I'm a homebody. I like staying home, watching Netflix, working on the computer, doing stuff. I mean, but I'm an old geezer. I'm 48 years old, but you're still young. So, but I guess it's the trance in us, that motivational type of thing. We like to accomplish things.
Age is merely a number.
Yeah.
I think it's also because I'm really scared that I work at a bar, so I'm training to be a bartender, which would be a suitable kind of career. I always had this, if you're transitioning to be a man, then you need a business job and a business degree and work for a law firm or something. You know what I mean? Something upstanding and masculine and respectable and stuff. So I'm training to be a bartender. No, it wasn't what I wanted to be 10 years ago, but I think that if the self-made men doesn't end up being a career or end up being something that could actually pay me one day, I worry that I'm losing my life and I should be working toward something that's just mine, that's more solid and has a little more longevity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Absolutely. Well, besides your business, what are your loves and what are your pet peeves?
Oh, I had to make a list of my pet peeves. Because I literally, I'll be at Walmart and I'll call my girlfriend, or I'll come out of the bathroom and I'll just be like, okay, while I was in there, I developed a new pet peeve. And it's just it's something that I say, I've developed a new pet peeve. Do you want to hear it, kind of thing? And so I had to make a list. There's people who fight on the internet, or hair that's not attached to someone's body. If it's especially my girlfriend's long blonde hair, if it's on my shirt or on the floor and I can see it, it just freaks me out. It makes me kind of gag a little. Or holidays, I really hate walking around the mall because people will walk in front of you or come in front of you and then stop to look into a store, and you've been walking behind them for 20 feet, and then all of a sudden they're stopped, and you just feel the need to just run into the back of them and be like, watch where you go. And that's probably the testosterone actually also talking. Yes. Strangely enough, one of my pet peeves is the smell of baby powder. Do you have that at all? No? Do you like the smell of baby powder?
Not really. Don't really
It's okay.
do much for baby powder.
No, I really hate it. It makes me angry.
Never thought about it.
I also made a list of transitional pet peeves that was a little more relevant, but I spend a lot of time on the FTM tag in Tumblr, and sometimes it's just you just have to just, not that they're younger or naive or anything like that, but it's oh yeah, I was once there and this is a little funny to me. So a lot of people like to take pictures of their face just their face and just put it on the FTM tag. And I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, like, this isn't like a before and after picture or anything. It's just like, oh, hey, here's me and my dog. Like, it's just on the FTM tag. So you scroll through and you've got like 12 pictures of guys' faces. And I'm like, nah, like, why am I on the FTM tag at all? This is irrelevant. Or guys that ask other people to help name them is one of my pet peeves too. Because I'm like, no, it's your name. You're going to be called this forever. You need to pick this, not me.
Yeah.
Actually, good question.
I had an FTM who actually asked me if it was okay for him to name himself like me, Mark Angelo. And I'm like, find your own freaking name. What do you have to steal mine?
No, actually, I do have a question. When did you come up with your other name? Your new name?
My Jason?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I came up with it when I was 12, and you can really know this because I named myself after the Red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Have you watched Power Rangers?
I came up with the name Jessica at 7 years old. I have no idea why I came up with Jessica, but that's what sounded right.
Okay.
And it stuck.
And then later someone told me that it was also like in the calendar with July, August, September, October, November. And so I thought that was even cooler.
What was it? Wait, I missed that.
July, August, September, October, November.
November.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
God, I'm a blonde.
Yes, you are.
Okay, never mind. Forget. Can we cut that out? No, crap, we're live.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And so what are your loves? You know, pet peeves. What are your loves?
Actually, okay, so after surgery, I think a lot of guys actually have reported having some kind of post-surgical depression. And so I really hit like a low point after my surgery, which was weird for me because I was like, this is going to fix everything. This is just going to make me so happy to be like shirtless all the time. And so my depression hit and I just started getting like anxiety and like panic attacks and stuff like that. And so I was on antidepressants for a little while, but I just felt really blah on them. And so I went out and bought a half Chihuahua, half miniature pincer, and I named her Peyton. And she is literally the reason that I could stop being on antidepressants, because when I like walk through my door, she's so excited to see me. She like, her whole like body just wiggles and like goes crazy, and it's just like, I love it.
Animals can be very therapeutic.
My girlfriend's gonna watch this and she's gonna hate me because I didn't say my girlfriend, but
yeah, I was gonna say, I think you should mention your girlfriend, Jason, if you still want to have a girlfriend. I mean, I lost mine. We're gonna make that announcement at the end of the show, but yeah. What advice do you have for our trans brothers and sisters?
Well, recently with the PayPal, and I just feel like every day I get hit with something different, and I would definitely like consider, before you go into activism, definitely consider, you know, whether you want to go stealth in the future, whether you can handle people being mean for no reason or anything like that. Think about why you're doing activism, and whether it's something that is going to, you know, be a permanent thing like I was talking about before. The advice for the people that aren't necessarily going into activism is definitely that there's enough hate in the world without you hating yourself. And also to remember that there's a difference between cisgender culture and trans culture. And a lot of the times I found myself depressed because I was trying so hard to fit into a culture that just wasn't mine. And if you realize that, you know, your community and the people that are in your community, we all share the same things. We all like, wanted the same things. There are people out there that probably have exactly the same story as you, almost. There's definitely a sense of community inside the community, and if you find it, it will really help with depression and anything that you're going through.
That's awesome, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, great advice.
Totally. Anything else you wanted to add? Any other promotional thing you wanted to let the viewers know about?
How they can get a hold of you?
Well, the website's been...
Duh, I know that, but they can hear him speak it.
Well, we're going to be at the Philadelphia Trans Health Conference. I know that's like the biggest the biggest event around that we like to promote. So I'd really love it if you guys came out and met us. Last year was really, really fun. We went to Applebee's with 20 trans guys and my girlfriend, and it was just I just never realized that you could talk about things like Packers. It was just at Applebee's we're talking about like the difference between the sailor and the Mr. Limpy, and it's just like casual conversation, and it's just things that we understand, like I said, about having a trans culture. So yeah, if you can make it to the Philadelphia Trans Health Conference, that would be. Are you guys going?
No, we're not.
Where are you guys?
We're all the way in, huh? We're all the way in Florida. Say that again.
Where are you located?
South Florida.
South Florida.
Wilton Manors, Florida.
I guess that's a little far away.
Yeah, kind of.
Just a little bit.
Just a little. Plus, I hate airplanes.
Me too.
I'm not much of a flyer.
Me either. I believe if God wanted us to fly, He'd give us wings.
There you go.
So
thank you very much for joining us, Jason. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Jason.
Totally enjoy your picker packer
than I thought it would be.
Huh?
Said this was way less nervous than I thought it would be. You guys are great.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're awesome too.
So are you.
Thank you.
And I want that Princess Cup, damn it.
Yes. Look, it's even got the Tangled Girl on it. Did you see that?
Like
That was my favorite.
She's blonde like me.
Well, we wanted to make an
Sweetie.
announcement. Take care, Jason.
Have
Thank
a
you
good,
so
have
much.
a good one, Jason. We'll
Yeah,
talk to
see
you
ya.
at the
Thank you.
show.
Thank you for being here. We wanted to make an announcement. Jessica and I are no longer going to be a couple. We have been having issues for a while, and we've been trying to resolve them, but they have not been resolvable. I love her very much.
As I love you very much.
But I think between the fact that I'm 10 years older, Jessica's just very new in her transition, and she needs to explore herself more and explore being with other people. I've transitioned 10 years ago, and I'm 48 years old, and I'm just ready to settle down. I'm not much into the whole drinking, partying scene. I'm more of a homebody kind of guy. So in all fairness, we decided that we'll remain friends, and I think that's important for
Absolutely.
both of us. We loved each other very much at one point. We still do, but things just changed.
Yes,
but we will
yeah.
continue to bring the show to you guys, and just take it day by day and see what happens. But we want to thank you for joining us. Thank
Yes, we
Jason
do.
for being on the show. Thank you everyone on the chat room. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
And we're gonna wrap up the show by saying we love you.
But remember to always love yourselves too.
And with one of my originals, it's twang.
Child, run away, child. Get out, look for your cat. Run away, child. Run away, child. The earth's about to end. He lived in the country. He worked hard all his life until he got a calling and left the countryside. The lights and all the glory attracted this young man. The city was a beat and made him into